Today we're making a true classic, the all-beef Texas hot link sausage. No shortcuts, no fillers, just bold spices, coarse ground beef, and that signature snap that you can only get from a natural hog casing. I'm going to show you how to grind it, stuff it, and slow smoke it the way it has been done for generations. If you've ever stood in line at any of the legendary Texas barbecue spots and wondered how they make their sausage, this is it. There is no one tried and true recipe for this sausage, but the way I like to make mine, I start with the meat being a 70-30 meat-fat ratio. And typically the ingredient list includes salt, black pepper, granulated garlic, onion powder, mustard powder, and a little bit of cayenne. And because I don't math very well, it is easiest for me to work in grams and then convert that into percentages so that I can scale this up or down based upon the amount of meat that I am using for any given sausage recipe. What I've got here is 6 pounds of brisket and ribeye trim, and that translates to 2,723 grams. First step, get it laid out on a pan. I'm gonna let this go hang out in the freezer for about 45 minutes to an hour. That way it'll just start to stiffen and it will help with the grind so we're not smearing fat while we're grinding the meat. 1 hour later, everything's nice and chilled. Let's go ahead and grind. I still have some meat here in the chute, so I'm going to show you a trick for getting that out. I'm going to take some ice, put it down the chute, and that will help to push the rest of the meat through, and it will keep everything cold. So here I have all of my spices mixed together, and as I binder, I have added in some low-fat milk powder. It's going to help to make the links a little more plump and juicy. It always helps the sausages that I make. For the liquid component, since we are making a Texas sausage, it is only right to go with my favorite Texas beer. So I'm going with 10% liquid based upon the weight of the meat. Ice cold beer, give it here. That joke was for 2 people. Got the shiner. We're not going to add all of this in, and I'll show you why in a second. By adding the liquid into the spice blend, that's going to help it disperse and coat the meat a little bit better than just pouring the dry spices on top of the meat. Just a little thing I've picked up over my time making sausage. Going to go ahead and start mixing this meat together. I haven't put anything on it yet. What I'm trying to do is get some protein extraction out of this. You want this stuff to get tacky. And when I'm finished, it should be able to stick to my hand and not fall off. So I do just a little bit of pre-mixing just to get things started. And now I'm going in with the spices. And back to it. Now the reason for saving some of the liquid earlier, once I get this pretty well blended together, I'm going to make a test patty to make sure that all of my seasonings are good and I don't need to adjust anything, because this is the last time I will have to adjust any seasonings before I smoke it. And I have not yet added the cure in yet. The cure is not really good for you to ingest until it has had time to do its work. Usually you want to wait for it to have 24 hours or so once it's in the casing to sit in the refrigerator, and that way the cure can do its work. If you just ingest curing salt right out of the bottle or immediately after dumping it into a piece of meat, it can give you some problems. This is smelling great already. So what you're looking for, put some in your hand and it should stick to your hand and not come off. We're almost there. It needs a little bit more, but I think for the moment, I'm going to make myself a tiny little patty, make sure the seasonings are right, and then I'll add in the rest of the liquid with the curing salt in it so that it dissolves properly. Taste test time. Oh yeah, that's good. The rest of my liquid, it not only has the curing salt in it, it has just a little bit more of the kosher salt, and just a little bit more cayenne pepper. Got some nice protein extraction. Stick into my hand. I think this is ready to go into the stuffer. I'm going to take this meat, I'm going to put it back in the freezer while I get the stuffer set up, and then we'll get some sausages made. Stuffing the meat into the canister, it is key. When you do this, you're going to pack it down. You don't want to leave any air pockets. Little piece of advice I'll give you, make sure before you put the plunger in that you spray the gasket with some cooking spray. It just helps with lubrication. We're gonna plunge this until the meat comes out to the end of this horn. Right there. Back off just a little bit. We've had our casings soaking in some water for a few hours. This is key. They come packed in salt. You want to rinse them off, make sure there's no salt on them. Got it on the horn, tie a knot in the end, pull it tight. Take a corn holder, poke some holes in the end of this, just to let some air escape. And because cold is critical, I'm gonna put some ice down on my tray. And then you just start to crank. You don't want to overstuff the casing, but you also don't want it to be super puny. And as air builds up on the horn here, you can pop it and it'll suction right back down onto the horn. I'm gonna finish casing this up and I'll bring you right back. Got everything all cased up. Now it is time to make some sausage links. I'm gonna go for some 7-inch links today. I have some markings on my tray here. This is a 6-inch marking, that's a 7-inch marking. So we're gonna go ahead, gonna pinch right there, gonna bring it forward, pinch right here, and then we're going to start rolling these forward. There are several ways for you to link sausages. This is my favorite way. I'm linking every other sausage. Give it 2 or 3 twists until it feels nice and tight. Got them all linked up. I'm going to go through, hit any air pockets that might be in here. It's going to draw the casing closer to the meat. Now I'm going to let these hang out in my refrigerator overnight. That's going to give the casings time to dry out. It's going to give that curing salt time to do its work. And then tomorrow we are going to throw them on the smoker and cold smoke these things. It's the next day. Let's take a look at these. You can see things have darkened up a little bit. Looks like I had one blowout. I guess this was a little bit too tight. So this will be the link that I temp just to make sure I'm hitting the right temperatures. Got things super smoky. Gonna leave these on this elevated rack so they're not getting any kind of soot on them from our grates. Before I get bombarded with comments about cold smoking, I know what I'm about to say is not a traditional cold smoke. A traditional cold smoke is somewhere in the 90-degree temperature range. I'm going to run this pit at 120 degrees, well below where I can finish the meat. I don't want to render fat. I just want to get some color on it. So it's going to run for about an hour and a half. I'm going to come out, I'm going to snip them apart. I'm going to flip them over so they get smoke on both sides. They're going to run for about a total of 3, maybe 4 hours based upon how they look. And then we'll pull them and dump them in an ice bath. Been an hour and a half. Let's go ahead and check these. Casings are getting nice and dry. Time to go ahead and separate them. You can see getting some nice color on here. I like to keep my sausages together when I start cold smoking them, just because I want to give this casing a thorough amount of time to dry out so that I know when I separate them, my twists aren't going to pop loose and let everything kind of come sliding out. Got some decent color going. You can see it's a little lighter on this side. So we're going to flip these over, let them go for about another hour and a half. Make sure they're not touching each other, because wherever they're touching, there's going to be a slight bald spot as far as the smoke color goes. So got them all on here. They're all separated out. We're going to let it ride for another hour and a half. 3 hours in. Been maintaining temps right about 125 to 135. Now I know this is not done, obviously, but I'm going to temp it just to get an idea of where I am. And a little piece of advice, when you're temping sausage, don't temp from the side, always temp from the end. All right, we're sitting at 111 degrees. What I'm gonna do now, take my temperature probe, I'm gonna put it in. So now I'm gonna bump the temp up, get the pit up to about 250 degrees. I'm gonna let it ride until the internal temp of the sausage gets up to about 148 degrees. I'm gonna pull it off, I'm gonna throw it into an ice bath. We hit 148 into the ice bath. Gonna shock the casings, gonna stop the cooking process. If you were to remove them from the cooker and let them cool down on their own, the casings will shrivel up. So this will prevent that from happening. Once they have cooled down to about 90 degrees, we're gonna pull a couple of them out. We're gonna put them back on the cooker, raise them up to 165 degrees, and then we're gonna cut into them and see what we got. All right, let's see what kind of snap we got. Ooh, yeah. There we go. Nice. Nice and juicy. Definitely getting that combo of the black pepper, the cayenne, and the beer working really well together. Salted perfectly. Oh, delicious, delicious. A nice subtle heat kick. I know I could have gone crazy with the heat. It is called a Texas hot link after all. In all honesty, I like to call it Texas hot gut. But I also know in the YouTube world, if someone sees hot gut on a thumbnail, they're probably not going to click on it. So we'll call it a Texas hot link. But that black pepper marries with that cayenne. There's just enough cayenne to bring a little bit of heat. The heat kind of builds after you start chewing. It's not overwhelming. It's a very nice, subtle heat. If you've never tried a Texas hot link sausage, consider giving this one a try. Super tasty, not very difficult, definitely worth your time. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, consider giving me a like, a subscribe, or drop me a comment. I would greatly appreciate it. Every time you do that, it helps to push me out to just a few more people. So help me to continue and spread the word. And as always, get up, go out, cook some good food, be a little bit better tomorrow than you were today, and I'll catch you next time. Ice cold beer!